It's time for this week's recruiting update, and with that, we welcome in David McNabb, VYPE recruiting expert and author of the weekly McNabb Report. For his weekly report here, welcome once again to VYPE TV.
Yeah, it's a great time of year, the combination of playoffs and all the recruiting that goes on.
Yeah, and how about what went on this week as TCU decides they're going to the Big East Conference starting in 2012, and of course they're awaiting their postseason fate right now. They're assured of at least playing in the Rose Bowl, if not the national championship game. Give us an update, first off, on what TCU is doing recruiting-wise. We know they've got a commitment from the West Mesquite quarterback, Trevone Boykin, as well as some others in the area, as they usually do.
Yeah, TCU, that's been as big a key to their success as their coaching and doing well. They've done a great job profiling kids who are very talented that either don't get an offer from some of the bigger schools or who don't want to go to a school with 50,000 kids on it. They're from smaller towns in Texas. And I think they have like 8 or 9 kids on their team who were running backs at small town schools in Texas, and then they bring them, and put them at defensive end, at wide receiver, and use them in different positions. So I think that's been TCU's biggest strength. And of course, I think going to the Big East will help them. Being an automatic qualifier will help them as well.
Yeah, and further on the move to the Big East and how that impacts recruiting here in North Texas. Obviously, TCU is going to be strong in recruiting, but it probably brings some of those northeastern schools down here.
Well, that's where the whole dynamics of college athletics and it gets all intermixed. Monday was the very first day the NCAA allowed college coaches to go onto a high school campus and have face-to-face contact with recruits. Well, Notre Dame, which is a Big East and everything but football, but their head coach, Brian Kelly, who comes from Cincinnati, who has a Big East background, the first place he came, he could have gone anywhere in the country. He was at Coppell High School in North Texas, offered Cam McDaniel. Notre Dame got a commitment from him. They offered Bennett Okacha, a cornerback who's committed to Wisconsin. He'll see if he switches. They went over to Skyline, of course. They've offered Thomas Johnson, their big receiver. And guess who he brings with him? Kerry Cook's assistant, Irving Nimitz graduate, who happens to be a Notre Dame assistant. So the impact of those Big East schools, there's a reason the Big East is interested in TCU, just besides them being a great football program. It's an access into Texas recruiting.
See, you Big 12 schools, what you did there. Now you let a whole nother conference, the Big East, into Texas recruiting by not offering TCU. All right, we got a great Big 12 matchup tonight at Cowboys Stadium in Arlington as Nebraska takes on Oklahoma. Of course, Oklahoma through the years has recruited Texas terrifically. Nebraska has as well. Rex Burkhead, they're one of their running backs, and who actually played some quarterback last week against Colorado and threw 2 touchdown passes, harkening back to his days as a Plano Senior High quarterback his sophomore year. I just love seeing what Burkhead's doing at the college level.
Yeah, Rex, of course, was a legend. They called him Superman during his high school career. Nebraska offered him early. He got late offers, but he stayed loyal to Nebraska. And it'll be very interesting, Nebraska's ability to continue to recruit in Texas, which they very much want and need to do as they move to the Big Ten. But they're having really good success this year. They've got a commitment from Tevin Mitchell from Mansfield Legacy, and of course they've got a commitment from the Arlington Sam Houston quarterback, Jamal Turner, and they got Aaron Green, who's a great running back, a Reggie Bush type out of San Antonio Madison. So at least for this year, heading into it, it looks like they're still going to be strong, but that's going to have to play out over a couple years.
And how about how Oklahoma has done? Of course, one of their stars last week in their win over Oklahoma State, the guy who scored the game-clinching touchdown, the tight end from Flower Mound High School, James Hanna. He's just one of several local products that play for the Sooners.
Yeah, the Sooners, of course, have lived off Texas recruiting, much to the chagrin of a lot of Texas people. But, I mean, there's more people in Dallas-Fort Worth than the entire state of Oklahoma, so they've got to go someplace to get them. And in a lot of cases, Norman's closer to where the kids live than Austin is. So there's Oklahoma depends on Texas recruiting. Having this Big 12 game in Dallas again is just another of the many showcases that the Sooners use.
And when you look at some of the guys they've gotten commitments from, one of them is number 10 for the Trinity Trojans, Brandon Carter, you were able to see last night against Coppell. A couple of weeks ago against Allen, he had the game of all games, throwing for a couple of touchdown passes. He caught balls. He played some cornerback. He returned a kickoff 60 yards, setting up a touchdown. What a game.
You know, and I'll have to give Oklahoma a lot of credit on Brandon Carter because he's a thin guy, he's not that big. People weren't sure what he was going to play. And one of his very first offers, when none of the other big schools were offering, during spring evaluations last spring, they came in and watched him practice and go, you know, we know there's a question about his height. Trinity didn't even know where they were going to play him, wide receiver, whatever, but Oklahoma offered him and he jumped onto that. So I'd have to give the Sooners a lot of credit on identifying Brandon quickly.
And projecting him, the projection is he's going to play cornerback. Danzel Williams, running back from Arlington Martin, who's also played safety in high school. He could be playing safety in college at OU. Who knows? Although he had such a great senior year running the football, they might play him at running back. Who knows?
Right, and I think Oklahoma is doing some of that. Let's recruit some athletes and figure out where they're going to play when they get here.
All right, David McNabb, our recruiting expert. Once again, great stuff from him. Meanwhile, the Landry Award presentation is less than a week away. How can you be a part of it? We'll tell you when VYPE TV continues in 2 minutes. It's time now for this week's Landry Award update presented by GMC. The first ever Landry Award presentation is now less than a week away. On Thursday night, we'll honor the best high school football player in North Texas. Once again, in alphabetical order now, here are the 5 finalists for the award. Running back Jay Ajayi out of Liberty High School in Frisco, who ran for over 2,000 yards this season. Jonathan Gray, his second straight 50 touchdown year for the Aledo Bearcats, just a junior. Senior running back Cam McDaniel of Coppell, who does it running the football as well as receiving it coming out of the backfield. A 4,500-yard passer, and Paul Millard, the quarterback from Flower Mound High School. And Geyer quarterback J.W. Walsh, who has run for over 1,000 yards and passed for nearly 3,000 yards this season for the Geyer Wildcats, who are still alive in the Class 5A playoffs. Now, the ceremony is Thursday night at the Communities Foundation of Texas. That's at the corner of Caruth Haven and Central Expressway in Dallas. The reception starts at 7. Join me, Babe Laufenberg, Heisman winner Tim Brown, and Alicia Landry. Tickets are on sale now at LandryAward.com. All proceeds go to FCA Dallas Character and Leadership Programs. And you can also watch the ceremony live at 9 o'clock on Thursday right here on TXA 21. Thanks for joining us this morning for VYPE TV. We'll be back next week at 10:30 to bring you the best stories in North Texas high school sports. We leave you this week with video of the Landry Award, the trophy being created. Have a great day.